truly a kind of a path-breaking way to represent that era, that essence of that film.
Kay Sera Sera, Jogi ho so.
When a composer is going to sing for another composer, he should keep your music composer in your house and go only as a singer. It rained for about 40-45 seconds when I sang Ghanan Ghanan. It had this depu kumari. So I was, we used to joke and laugh that, Tamil song and a bhangra groove. Sir, in one interview, I would repeat this for the 735th time that Rahman is unusual.
Tracking milestones of an incredible journey spanning more than 3 decades. Rahman Music Sheets. Hi friends, discover the top take as we uncover the wow factor in this episode. Do watch it till the end to grab this musical moment of the day. PS1 and PS2, a 2-part film directed by Ratnam. Based on Ponniyin Selvan, an early 1950s historical novel by Kalki Krishnamurthy, focused on the Chola dynasty. Ponniyin Selvan is considered to be a classic in Tamil literature. Even Rahman took almost 3 years to curate, conceptualize and create music for the blockbuster. Shankar Mahadevan sang for both PS1 and PS2.
Whenever I get an opportunity to sing for Rahman, it is really special. It's musically an enriching experience for both the songs. That is a Rakshasa Mama song, which was very, very challenging because it had melody, it has rap in it, it's got fast-paced lyrics and rhythmically very, very, intricate patterns. So I really enjoyed singing that. And Veeraraja, which is a truly a kind of a path-breaking way to represent that era, that essence of that film, and the whole idea is so fresh. It's like a Drupad, and I really enjoyed singing that. And the lyrics, the melody, the rhythm, it's a complicated rhythm cycle. It's in 5/4. I really enjoyed singing that, and and I hope the people also have loved it.
Sir, as a very successful and an established composer yourself, how would you evaluate the music of PS1 and PS2?
See, I am always pleasantly amazed and astonished at the way Rahman brings out freshness in every track. It's very, very difficult. He's also been around almost 30 years or 32 years or something. He's been in the industry. And the minute I heard that first Ponniyin song from PS1, I immediately messaged him and texted him and said that how do you do it? How do you get this kind of freshness in every single score of yours? It's really, really challenging. And at the same time maintaining the aesthetics, maintaining the essence, maintaining the, era of the film, and sanctity. And of course, he's working with his favorite Ratnam, and keeping that he's got a big baggage of super hit music for all his films. How does he do it? His contribution to Indian cinema is unbelievable, and you cannot describe that in words. And really, really, we thank the Almighty for getting Rahman into the industry.
We are in an era where music has initial 15 seconds to grab attention. In this age and time when everything appears to be so instant, scoring music like PS1 and PS2, how daring it is?
Firstly, that belief itself is wrong. Okay. So that belief is wrong that you need 15 seconds and get in and get out and all that. All that is, yes, you have to grab the attention. That I agree, but I don't think 15 seconds. And none of Rahman's scores have become historical cult musical, what do you call it, pieces of music by listening to it for 15 seconds. No, it's like old wine. It takes its time to get into your system. It's like slow poisoning. It gets into you and then it stays with you forever. So and these are all, whenever there is music coming out of Rahman, there is depth. There is musically a very rich, what do you call it, piece of experience, which is rich in melody, rich in lyrics, something unique, harmonically. There is something for everybody, a musician, a non-musician, the person on the street, a person who listens to words, a person who listens to melody, a person who listens to lyrics. All these things, Rahman has got everything for everybody.
Do you think music like PS1 and 2 is possible only in regional cinema, as these films are blessed with their unique flavor, whereas Hindi cinema appears to be an amalgamation of all the cultures?
No, I don't think it can happen anywhere. You need musicians like Rahman. You need people who understand music. You need people like Rahman who can deal with a Ponniyin Nadi also, and something like a Veeraraja also, and something as funky as Mustafa also.
Mustafa, don't worry, Mustafa. Kalam Thoran Mustafa.
Or as classical as Snehidane. So, I mean, you need a person like that to this thing. So, you can't generalize that Bombay ye hota hai and Chennai aisa hota hai. Everywhere there are good musicians, everywhere there are mediocre musicians too.
Rahman and Shankar Mahadevan came together for the first time for Bombay, released in 1995. Shankar sang Alaps for its background score.
Which is fun, always, the recording experience with Rahman is a very, what do you call it? It's an open book always, it's never a thing that, okay, this is your mukhada, this is your antara, sing it and go. But it's not that way. It's always an open book when the song is being created, So even this, alap, it was all a very organic process where things happened on the studio, like what is that? That sargam and the alap, it was just an extension of what can we do, it was a background score that he was doing, what looks good. So I said, shall I try this, shall I try this? We tried that, gave him various options, and then eventually he goes and decides. It's a very, what do you call it, it's almost like a painting, you are sketching, and one color after the other, one stroke after the other, it comes, and then eventually it becomes into this amazing piece of work.
From that recording for Bombay to recording for him in recent months, what difference do you see in him as a composer, as a person?
I think as a person he's not changed at all. He's the same, down to earth, very, very modest. He's become a little more courageous as far as speaking is there. He speaks more, without any, being a little conscious. He used to be very, very conscious. Even on stage, his confidence has grown tenfold. But otherwise, as a person, he's the same lovely Rahman, the same modest Rahman, the same God-fearing Rahman, and the same, musically charged up, even now. So that is what is very, very special about him.
And his compositions? Do you see a kind of growth in him as a composer?
Oh yes, of course. Who doesn't grow? If you don't grow as a musician, he's always a student, he's always a student of music, and you can see how beautifully he is growing as a musician, as a technical person, as a his sense of harmony has completely changed, especially after collaborating with all the international people, Andrew Lloyd Webber and all the Western classical people and the Western world. When he collaborated, you can see the change in the harmonic content, especially, and the use of harmonies, the use of Western classical orchestra, the use of modern arrangements. It is of course everybody grows. I mean, 28 years is a long time, so people do grow. Yeah.
If Roja introduced new sound to Indian cinema, Rangila redefined Hindi film music forever. Rahman also broke the traditional structure of film songs and brought in a generation of new singers. No boundary could contain Rahman's music or his sound. He is called disruptive and innovator in the same breath.
You are a graduate in computer science and software engineering. I'm sure you can define Rahman's new sound differently and perhaps more precisely.
See, what happens is, firstly, even Rahman is just like Shankar Mahadevan. Rahman is also from the advertising industry. That is where he's got his, his I wouldn't say training, but experience. In 30 seconds you have to tell a story when you do an ad film. So the training and the experience is from the ad industry, and what happens is, when either a person is very musically thorough, or a person is very technically thorough. When a person is thorough in both these aspects, that is when an AR Rahman happens. So what happens is, he composes these exotic, new, fresh, melodies where people have not gone into that path. So that freshness of melody is there. That comes from the knowledge of music, that is melodic music, and then his sense of harmony, he listens to everybody in the world. He's a person who listens to jazz, he listens to Western classical music, he listens to Indian classical music, he listens to folk music, and he's a very richly knowledgeable person. So he uses all his harmonic knowledge to enhance those melodies very beautifully. Then he uses his technical knowledge to use the sounds in such a way that the correct sound, the correct frequencies, the correct match is done for even a simple pad that Rahman plays behind a simple melody. That sounds so full and enough as compared to you need 100 other instruments somewhere else. So he is technically, sonically, musically very, very sound. So, and he brings that out into every single piece of music. Moreover, after everything is done, then you got to be a very fine engineer yourself. He's also a very fine engineer where he mixes his own songs. Obviously, there are lovely engineers working with him, but the final say is AR. He's the one who decides how to EQ the voice, how to EQ the instruments, how to EQ the whatever chorus, levels of everything, the way it should sound. It is his word. So when a person is an all-rounder, knowledge-wise on all these aspects, that is when you see the difference yourself.
From Bombay in 1995 to Ponniyin Selvan 2 in 2023, Shankar Mahadevan and Rahman came together for many films. But Sangamam, released in 1999, holds a special place in the career of Shankar Mahadevan. According to Shankar, it is because of this film that his voice is heard in Tamil households across the globe.
Completely, I owe it to him because of this one song which I sang, which really, really reached out. It grabbed the attention when people heard the song. And it's all thanks to Rahman, because there's a song called Varaga Nadi Kare Oram from the film Sangamam, and people just loved the song. And there are some songs where all aspects, they just come in and fit in like a jigsaw puzzle, and that's what happened to that song too. The melody is just beautiful. The way it sounds is very beautiful. The lyrics by Vairamuthu sir is amazing, and the arrangement and everything, the way it was rendered, the way it was received by the Tamil speaking people all over the world. I really, mean it when I say that his contribution to my life of South Indian music is incredible.
5 years before Sangamam, Kadhalan was released in 1994, the second collaboration between director Shankar and AR Rahman. Its songs made Prabhudeva an overnight sensation across India. The film was dubbed in Hindi, and Shankar Mahadevan sang the iconic song Urvasi in Hindi. Almost 3 decades later, Urvasi remains as popular as ever. Take it easy. The mantra it offered continues to inspire art filmmakers even today.
Download now.
Well, it was a very simple thing. It was just a dubbing. The song had already become popular in Tamil, and they were looking at somebody to dub it in Hindi. And we had just done the Bombay background, so that kind of, there was a kind of knowing each other situation was there. And then he said, "Oh, why don't you come to Chennai, because I'm dubbing the Hindi version of that." So, and I went there, and we just, there was a guy called Noel James who used to work with him, me, Noel, and the whole gang. We had fun, and we just finished dubbing. It was a very simple dubbing experience. In half an hour, we finished the song. Yeah.
And so Urvasi became such a rage even with the Hindi-speaking audience.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think it's the sound, it's the rendition, it's the character that the song has. And of course, the icing on the cake is Prabhudeva, the way he is danced. And it's funky, These songs, the beauty of these songs of Rahman, they will never get dated. Even today, after you hear the most modern song, the recent hit, whatever, and then when you play an Urvasi, people still scream, because just that bass, you don't need anything else. Just dun 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 dun. This is the killer. This is the killer. It ends there.
Take it easy, policy. Sunday ko bhi chutti na ho. Take it easy, policy.
Minsara Kanavu, released in 1997. Hariharan and Sadhna Sargam sang one of its most popular songs, Vendilave. For its choreography, Prabhudeva received the National Award. Rahman chose Shankar Mahadevan to sing its sad version. Minsara Kanavu was released in Hindi as Sapnay, and Shankar sang Ek Bagiya Mein.
See, we used to go to this his studio, Panchatan, in which I'm sure it's still there. The energy of that studio is something that I'm sure everybody has spoken about Panchatan in, because the energy in that studio is really, really special. He's got a very fancy studio now, amazing equipment, but nothing, I'll be very honest to say that nothing to replicate the sanctity, it was like a dargah, it was like a mandir, it was like a religious place, it was like the energy, you could feel that God is there in that place, And Rahman's recording used to be there would be a method in the madness. You had a small studio upstairs, one down, and one small little dubbing room there. Multiple things were continuously happening. So I still remember, I was recording this Ik Bagiya in the lower studio where Rahman himself was present. And then there was this Vanilla song, a smaller version, a sadder version for the film. So, he's always like that. He said, hey, you're free or what? Either for there's one more song. Can you dub that also and go? So I just go up and I go to the top floor and I dub over there. The Vanilla Way song happened that way. It is such a beautiful melody. Of course, my brother Hariharan has rendered it so beautiful, and Sadhana Sargam. And I got to sing the sad version. I really, really enjoyed singing that. And it's such an amazing melody. Yeah.
Sir, Vanilla Way and Ik Bagiya Mein are so different in their moods, and he asked you to sing both the songs, and that too one after the other. It also shows the trust that he has in you.
Yeah, that I'm blessed really, and he's such a composer. He can extract anything out of any person, and I guess it's his magic that really worked.
May I request to sing either of these songs? Maybe a few lines?
Yeah, of course. I don't remember the lyrics of Vanilla Way here. Vanilla Way. Let me just 1 minute. வெண்ணிலவே வெண்ணிலவே விண்ணை தாண்டி வருவாயா விளையாட ஜோதி தேவை வெண்ணிலவே வெண்ணிலவே
வெண்ணிலவே வெண்ணிலவே என்னை போல தெரியாதே உன்னோடும் காதல் நோயா.
Yin Swasakatri was released in 1999. Rahman recreated one of its songs for Pukar, the first film in the new millennium. It was the first collaboration between Rahman and Boney Kapoor. Sung by Shankar Mahadevan and Kavita Krishnamurthy, the song acquired a cult status over the decades.
So before we talk about Kay Sera Sera, I want to show you what Kavita Krishnamurthy ji had to say about this song.
I did Kay Sera Sera Sera, then with the variation Kay Sera 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 Sera, all the variations he would allow me to do it, and then he used it in different points of the song, and I just loved the song. It was so grand. It was such a grand song, and then I later on, I think Shankar ji sang it later on. I was amazed because his range was so high. All those things he was doing, it was extremely high. So it was beautiful. And I was wondering how I will do my low lines. I was amazed because with Rahman ji, it got used to singing everything high. And suddenly I'm in this song, I'm doing Pyar Zindagi, Pyar Bandagi, Pyar Jisne Paya Hai, all niche. I said, ये क्या हो गया? आज मैं नीचे गा रही हूँ. Then I realized, अच्छा ये शंकर आए हैं, इनको तो ऊपर गवाएंगे. वही हुआ, मैं नीचे और वो ऊपर. मतलब नॉर्मली इंडस्ट्री में पहले ज़माने में क्या होता था, लड़कियों को ऊंचा लाइन देते थे, रफ़ी साहब सब नीचे, मतलब मीडियम, लता जी को ऊपर वाली लाइंस मिल जाती थी. पर यहाँ तो उल्टा था कि मैं नीचे गा रही हूँ और शंकर जी ऊपर गा रहे हैं. बट बहुत मज़ा आया.
Firstly, I remember even Javed ji was there. I think Javed Akhtar sir only wrote the lyrics of the song, and he was also there. We were all hunting together for a hook line. Da 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 da. So many options came, and then finally this idea of Kay Sera Sera came, and it sounded pretty catchy and hooky. So we did that, and then. That was an interesting part where the female was singing the lower part, and it was really high, and somehow I managed that. And the last bit where when they said that I asked who's the cast, they said Prabhudeva. So they let that last part, the groove just goes on, and I just improvised on it. Using just the scatting kind of a thing, which of course Prabhudeva has danced to it. So that part was very interesting, and I just I just went on jamming on it. The rhythm was on and I was just singing. And Rahman has kept the whole thing in the song. I thought that he'll use a bit of 4 bars, 8 bars. He's kept the whole thing. And one thing I remember about Kay Sera Sera is, the song starts on a very high note. Najavano, Badmano. And when we used to do the Rahman concerts in America, one of the concerts was, my voice had gone completely. It had gone completely. It was like this. It was almost like this. And I went and told during soundcheck, no, I don't think I can sing today because my voice is. And the concert, my entry used to start with this line. Najavano, Badmano, somewhere up there. And to start your evening with that thing, with a bad voice, is a bad idea. I knew that. I remember that time Rahman's mother was also there. And the entire unit, Chitra ji, Kavita ji, Balu sir, all these people, we were all together. And they were all praying for me. I still remember they were all praying for me. I remember Rahman's mother she used to have that, beads kind of thing, and she was chanting and praying so that, my voice becomes okay. Chitra ji gave me a kind of a powder, which is like it soothes your voice and it opens up. And it was next to impossible, but there was some intervention from above. I went on stage and I just hit Najavano, and it just worked.
Najavano, Badmano.
It was not 100%, but I could manage that concert, which was an impossibility.
कभी किसी से न प्यार करना.
It was just the prayers of everybody, Rahman's confidence, his mother's prayers, so this Kay Sera Sera I can never forget. It was, oof.
Come on, Aaron, let's see some hands over here. Come on.
And my friend Hari and me, we are like, we are brothers actually. The minute I sang Najavano, he got so nervous, he ran inside. He didn't want to hear the rest of the song. He didn't want to know what happens. He ran inside and he was in his green room just wondering what is happening, how this guy is managing. But somehow I managed.
प्यार कांटों का जैसे कोई बन है, प्यार से ही रंग का समा.
प्यार से जाने क्यों तुमको उलझन है, प्यार तो सारी दुनिया पे है मेहरबान.
Najavano, Najavano, Najavano.
The song was picturized on Mr. Prabhudeva and Madhuri Dixit ji. Do you think the choreography and their dance took this song to another level altogether?
I told you that I asked who's it picturized on, Prabhudeva and Madhuri Dixit, and the last dance, that's why I did that whole scatting in the end, and obviously, they took it to another level, obviously. Who better than Prabhudeva?
By the time Shankar Mahadevan recorded for Pukar, the team Shankar Ehsaan Loy had already established itself as composers, with their unique brand of infectious dynamism representing modern India.
When a composer goes to sing another composer's song, what are the dynamics? How did it work between you and Mr. Rahman?
See, when a composer is going to sing for another composer, he should be very clear about what his role is going to be when he enters into a studio, depending upon the music director's sensibility. Some music directors are very particular about the kind of inflections that they have composed, and the singer is expected to sing what the composer has composed. So you should keep your music composer in your house and go only as a singer. But when I go and sing with a composer like Rahman, as I told you, it's an open canvas, anything is welcome for him, and he's completely encouraging, and I'm sure that he respects the fact that I'm also a composer. So he's just like how I do it. He's always looking for a contributor. He's not only looking for a singer. So when a person like me goes there, he knows that this guy can add value to something based on his own personality. So I keep I bring in my composer's shoes also when I'm singing for Rahman, and I ask him for suggestions. Can I do it this way? Can I do it that way? And always with Rahman, it's a yes. It's a yes. And of course, and very encouraging, very, very positive. And more often, he keeps the improvised versions in the final song.
Alay Payuthey, released in 2000, was remade as Saathiya in 2002. With this film, Mani Ratnam introduced Madhavan into Tamil cinema, cast opposite Shalini. Originally, it was planned to be a film with no songs, with Rahman doing just the background score. Eventually, the film had 9 songs to light up the romance. The blockbuster score won AR Rahman one more Filmfare Award as Best Music Composer. Refreshing lyrics, original melody, and global sound continue to enchant audiences even after 2 decades of Alay Payuthey as well as Saathiya.
When two people who really trust each other are coming together for a project, So what happens is when the two magicians they meet, that is when the magic happens, And I'm sure that, and that is Mani Ratnam's greatness too. The fact that when Rahman must have suggested something, he must have accepted it with open arms, trusting Rahman's instinct and his belief in music. See, that is how great films are made. When you don't trust the other person, I mean, for example, many a times in today's scenario, music composers are told what to do. If your music composer gives an exciting melody, they say, no, it doesn't work for me. But it works for the music composer. Trust the music composer and go ahead. So it is about trust, it's about friendship, it is about belief in each other's craft. That is what creates great pieces of art like Alay Payuthey.
So for this film, you sang 2 songs. One was with Mr. Rahman, while the other, September Madam, was with Asha Bhosle ji. Did you sing it together?
No, Umesh ji, in today's day, no singer meets the other singer. Each one comes as per their own schedule and records it. But I was so thrilled to sing with the greatest Asha ji. And the whole song has got a little bit of a, Spanish vibe to it. It's a beach kind of thing with that typical, It's got that little tribute to R.D. Burman Panchamda feel is there, where ha 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 ha, all those things are there in the song. I was so thrilled to sing the song, and the way he has arranged it, the way he's put things together, the ideas that he gets, the harmonics that he gets, the way the chorus is treated in the song, the way the rhythm just develops, incredible. Only Rahman can do it, nobody else.
So compared to Hindi, you have sung more songs in Tamil for Mr. Rahman. His compositions for Hindi films and for films in Tamil, do you see a remarkable difference there?
There is a difference. I would say that he's more adventurous, more free, more what do you call it? जैसे खुले आसमान में when he is down south, when he is composing for a Tamil film. I mean, what Minsara Kanna and all songs like that, impossible, I don't even know if there are producers and directors here in Hindi cinema who would be adventurous enough to accept songs like that. So he understands that. So he's got a certain bit of a cushioning when he comes to Hindi, but when he is composing for Tamil films, which obviously gets dubbed into Telugu and other these things, I mean, it's like he's like a rocket.
Mudhalvan, a Tamil political action film directed by S. Shankar. It was remade in Hindi as Nayak, the real hero. Shankar Mahadevan sang in both Mudhalvan as well as Nayak.
Going to Rahman studio and hanging out there and singing that was a regular feature, How the song develops into a beautiful piece of art is what is Rahman's magic. When we go there, we are singing over there. It's all like sketches. It's all like when the fashion designers like done rough sketches and just left it all over the table. It's like that. It's all over the place. But when you eventually hear it, there's so much. It's so amazing. There's so much musicality to it.
I believe the song Mudhalvan you finished in 15 minutes.
Yeah, must be. It's okay. But it's an amazing song. And that I remember, Panchataran, we had gone to the upper studio. Down I recorded Pukar, went ran upstairs and I sang the Mudhalvan song. Yeah, it was, quite a few songs of Rahman's I had sung in that one period was there when I used to regularly go and sing for him. And it was great fun, musically enriching experience. And just being with the man who's so musically sound and a fantastic human being. That combination is very, very amazing.
Aag, Raj Kapoor's directorial debut in 1948.
जिंदा हूँ इस तरह के गमे जिंदगी नहीं.
With Aag, Mukesh became Raj Kapoor's voice and sang most of his songs.
आवारा हूँ.
For Shami Kapoor, it was Mohammad Rafi. Kishore Kumar became the voice for Rajesh Khanna
ये जो मोहब्बत है
and Amitabh Bachchan. With Qayamat Se Qayamat Tak, Udit Narayan became the voice of Amir Khan. Rahman disrupted this practice of having actor-specific playback singers. He himself sang a song for Amir Khan in Rangila. Later in Dil Se, he used 3 voices for Shah Rukh Khan. Udit Narayan, Sonu Nigam, and Sukhwinder Singh.
Do you think it was quite daring for a composer to use 3 topmost singers in one film, that too for a superstar like Mr. Shah Rukh Khan?
Yeah, and I personally also believe in the same thing. I always, kind of argue and fight with my directors also. It doesn't matter. It's a song that is the king. Which voice does full justice to that particular song, that is how the song becomes, absolutely, it reaches somewhere else. We have used several singers for several situations. It doesn't matter. Honestly, it doesn't matter. It's a daring decision. It is the right decision. Like, for example, a song like, which one is it? Chaiya Chaiya. Chaiya Chaiya, who can do better justice than Sukhwinder, I remember Mani sir had played this song even before it was released. He had played it to me. We were, sitting and jamming on something else. That time he had played it to me. So it was just incredible. And Aaj Ajnabi, you can't imagine any other singer singing close to what Udit has done. Udit ji's voice is just soul earthy voice which is there. It's added so much color. So it is like casting for an actor a role. It's like casting a singer for the song.
Introducing new singers continuously, how did it change the entire music scenario?
I think that is one of the greatest contributions to the Indian film industry, where he just gave a bouquet of singers to for people, and it's a kind of a family that keeps growing. You see the young singers whom he makes them sing now. They are also part of the shows and they are performing. They're making it's not only about singing that 1 or 2 songs. It's about creating your own identity, your own livelihood. You're becoming an industry yourself. So amazing contribution. You can't describe that in words.
Kandukondain Kandukondain was based on the Jane Austen novel Sense and Sensibility, written in 1811. Directed by Rajiv Menon.
Kandukondain Kandukondain Kadhal Mugam Kandukondain.
It won Filmfare Award as the Best Tamil Film and Best Director trophy for Rajiv. Shankar Mahadevan won his first national award as playback singer.
I believe that besides Mr. Rajiv Menon personally calling you for the song, Mr. Rahman also called you, that too 1 a.m. while you were fast asleep.
Rajiv, we have worked with him on various, advertising campaigns and everything. He used to come to Mumbai, and of course Rahman was there. Then there was this one song which Rajiv said, I want you to come and sing. And Rahman also called and said, why don't you come and we have to record a song for Rajiv Menon. And when I came and heard this melody, I was stunned actually. It's such a beautiful melody. I just feel blessed that, I was the chosen one, as simple as that. Anybody who would have sung that song, I think he would have been appreciated the way I was, because the composition is phenomenal, arrangement, the lyrics, everything is just outstanding, and the picturization. So I was a lucky one to become the medium to reach out to the people using my voice. Again, as I was telling there was so much input from me that Rahman and Rajiv was also there, Vairamuthu sir was also there, and how it was a very, very organically inspired moment over there. And there's one thing, that one night, I don't remember the date, that is the one night where I sang Enna Solla Pogirai. Then the second song that I sang was Varaga Nadi Kare Oram. And the third song that I sang was Taniye Tanandaniye. All three my biggest hits with Rahman. So it was like my entire, life history in Tamil films, and a very important part is owed to Rahman in one day.
In fact, this was my next question. Your place in Tamil cinema was ensured forever when you sang those 3 songs in one night.
Not that night. It went on to the morning. I went on till about 8 o'clock in the morning and took the flight and came back to Mumbai. And that's what I'm saying. So a very important part of me being recognized among the Tamil speaking people in the world, I would like to dedicate to Rahman, and that one night. It is that one night. Then of course everything else follows, but that one night was the night.
என்ன சொல்ல போகிறாய் சந்தன கண்களை ஜன்னல்கள் கண்டித்தல் நியாயமா.
So you just mentioned that while singing, you gave your inputs, and Mr. Rahman is always very open to that. When Mr. Rahman records, does he give any kind of brief to singers, or he relies totally on their interpretation and interactions that happen during the recording?
Oh, no. Please don't mistake. He knows, he explains every single thing. That's what I'm saying. He understands the journey of notes. He understands sur. He understands swaras, he understands chords, he understands do re mi, he understands everything. So, he gives freedom to the singer. That doesn't mean that, the singer can, go out somewhere. Within, he's there as a guiding composer and following you, and guiding you. Can you do this? Can you do that? Okay, when an input comes from there, then he puts his own input into that input, and that becomes into... Yeah, it's a very organic process, It's very difficult to explain.
So you just mentioned that he understands the journey of notes. You are trained in classical music, whereas Mr. Rahman could never learn music formally. Yet, many of his songs are rooted in classical traditions of India. How does he get it right? What does he do to achieve that? Are you privy to that process?
Well, a person who has played with great masters in the South at the age of 11 and 12 and, who has been in the industry and performed and he's a child prodigy. He's a child prodigy. He's got music within him. So, raga, raginis, at the end of the day, they are notes, So when you listen to a particular song, when you get inspired by it, enters into your system and you use that knowledge to deliver great songs. Like I was just mentioning you the song Minsara Kanna or so many other classical songs, Snehidane or like Enna Sollapogire, the one which I sang and songs in Alay Payuthey, so many other songs. That's what I'm saying. He's always been and will be a student of music. He always learns, he always listens and he absorbs. And he just doesn't listen and, for the sake of listening and criticizing like many other people do. He listens to understand that music, absorb the good things and probably utilize that essence in any other, project that he's doing. That's why he is what he is.
1992 to 2000, Rahman composed for nearly 50 films. More than 10 crore copies of his albums were sold, making him one of the world's top-selling artists. Then came Lagaan. 35 lakh copies sold within 1 year. Nominated for Oscar in the category of Best Foreign Language Film in 2002. It was the third Indian film to have reached this far at the Oscars. In India, Lagaan won 8 national awards and 8 Filmfare Awards. Its scintillating soundtrack captured the essence and soul of Lagaan. Its first song, Ghanan Ghanan, introduces us to the film's plot, location and characters.
I remember that, Ashutosh and we were sitting and then the whole idea of that Ghanana was the idea of like clouds coming, the whole idea of when it gets cloudy. So that was the idea. And there was, as I was telling you, he listens to suggestions. This, man dhadka e badarva, man dhadka e badarva, man, this off thing, I suggested to him, just, do you think that because it falls on the one. And see, that is what, a musician who's not insecure about his craft, he said, yeah, this is good, let's do it this way. So he had already recorded with other chorus singers. He changed all that and he kept, I sang it and then all the other chorus singers again had to sing after I had sung this. So, and it's a beautiful song and I'm just a small part of that song, few lines I'm singing, but I think all the other great singers have sung beautifully.
So for this song, Alka Yagnikji was your co-singer. Let me show you what she had to say about songs of Lagaan.
For a number of years, I'd been singing songs with a particular format. ये मुखरा है, ये अंतरा है, अंतरे के बाद फिर मुखरा आता है, उसके बाद फिर second अंतरा आता है. But this was very strange. In fact, I remember when we were doing the songs of Lagaan, Javed Akhtar ji was, at that time he said कि अरे भाई ये कहाँ से शुरू होता है, कहाँ चला जाता है, तो उसको बोलना पड़ता है कि भैया वापस आ जाओ, अब बहुत हो गया, वापस आ जाओ. So it was precisely like that because the song used to just go in various directions, going up, going down, and we used to wonder कि इसमें music कहाँ आएगा or how is the song going to come back to the mukra.
He doesn't believe in that mold. He doesn't believe in the tried and tested, like for example, I'll give you a small example. If you see in South Indian films, every film has got one Dapanguta song, Dapanguta is a dantadaka, dantadaka, dantadaka. He will not do that. Even if he does a Dapanguta song, he will do it his way. So it's his way, his contribution, his idea. So Ghanana Ghanana it's a landmark song. It's a landmark song, and the amount of singers, you can visualize the whole village. It's almost like an introduction to the village, So all the characters, old men, old ladies, children, this, that, a chorus, rhythm, happening over there. Everybody praying almost to the rain god. It's an amazing piece of music. I remember I was singing this song in Kerala in the middle of the heat. It was proper summer, and I sang this for some Kerala function was there, and I sang this Ghanan Ghanan, and I remember in the front row was the great maestro Yeshudas ji, Chitra ji, and many more great composers, singers, classical musicians. Everybody was sitting in the front row, and I was singing the song. And in the end of the song, even in Rahman shows, I used to improvise. I used to do the malhar, rag, taan, sargams. I used to do just as effect of improvising with that rag. And I was improvising, and I was closing my eyes, and suddenly I saw that I'm not hearing the music behind me, and I turned back and I saw the tabla and the acoustic instruments. They were taking their instruments and running backstage because it had started raining. It rained for about 40-45 seconds when I sang Ghanana Ghanana, and it just stopped and the program continued. So that became like a headline for all the newspapers in Kerala. Yeshudas ji came and mentioned about that thing. It was an unforgettable moment, but that was the magic of the song Ghanana Ghanana, which Rahman composed.
So besides sweeping all the awards, Lagaan was the best-selling album in 2001. The entire soundtrack had a very unique character to it. But now, multiple composers compose for a film. How does it impact a film? Does it bring variety and energy, or does it take away the soul of a film?
I think it takes away the soul of the film, because it's like having 5 heroes for a same film. One doing the action sequences, one doing romantic, and one doing emotional sequences. So I think it's a great idea for the music company and for the producer, where the job gets done fast and they are able to choose. But it's a bit of a mess, because nobody gets the due credit. Nobody knows who's composed what, and I don't believe in it, honestly. That's to put it simply.
Sir, around Lagaan was also the period when Mr. Rahman was working on multiple projects, including Bombay Dreams with Andrew Lloyd Webber. Somewhere you had described that, those days his studio looked like a doctor's clinic.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't look like a doctor's clinic. The feeling is when you go out to the reception, it used to be. No, I don't know. I'm not, sung in a long time for him, in his studio for him. But it used to be like all line of directors used to be waiting outside, all the singers, all the lyricists. And the way he used to manage everybody, something happening here, something happening there. Tamil people are waiting, Hindi people are waiting, Tamil directors, Hindi lyricists, Tamil singers, Telugu singers, some dubbing happening. Unbelievable. That's Rahman. You can't describe that whole experience.
So in Baba, you sang Dipu Dipu, a Tamil song with Punjabi Bhangra beats and Mr. Rajnikant dancing. What are your thoughts? Unusual? Fun?
It's fun, and I remember, it was for Rajni sir, so that fun element has to be there, and it had this Dipu 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 Kumari. So I was, we used to joke and laugh that, Tamil song and a Bhangra groove, it's fun. See, as I said, he always breaks the mold. He goes against the stream.
Singing for Mr. Rajnikant, what did it mean to you?
It means a lot. It means the world. You're singing for one of the most popular and most amazing actors of the country. He's the biggest superstar, all said and done. So whenever you have a feeling that you're going to sing for Rajni sir, it is surely a special feeling, of course. How can one deny that?
Aaytha Ezhuthu, a political action film by Mani Ratnam, simultaneously made in Hindi as Yuva, a multi-starrer film with multiple narrative threads. Rahman's music had to weave them together.
So you sang Goodbye Nanba in Tamil. Did you find this composition very unusual the way you were expected to render it?
Sir, in one interview, I would repeat this for the 735th time that Rahman is unusual. Rahman is the person who's path breaking always, and he thinks alike. I mean, you look at that song, the one which I sang, hey, Goodbye Nanba. It is just unbelievable. There is a little jazz section that comes in between, which is unbelievable, most unexpected. It just takes you by surprise. So that is what he is all about.
So Mr. Rahman sang for this film and its Hindi version Yuva too. Earlier he had sung in Lagaan as well. In fact, some of the songs sung by Mr. Rahman have become extremely popular. You, as a composer, as a singer, how would you evaluate Mr. Rahman as a singer?
I always tell this to my family. There is a particular quality, essence and soul in his voice which nobody else has got. Like that song, Ye Jo Desh Hai Mera, I don't think anybody can render the way Rahman has done, because it comes from here, and Rahman's singing is straight from the heart and it connects straight to your heart. So I would say he's like a bard of singers. It comes straight from here. It just comes very naturally. And I love his singing, I love his voice, and I love the way he renders his own songs. Like Ponniyin Selvan, I went mad when I listened to that song. The way he has rendered it, it is so amazing. And in the middle of so much clutter, to come up with something that is so fresh and stand out and break the records, that is what is AR Rahman.
Which is your favorite song sung by Mr. Rahman?
Yeah, Tere Bina Besuadi, Dil Se Re, this one, Ye Jo Desh Hai Mera tops the list, of course. And of course now Ponniyin Selvan.
Can you sing any one of them, if possible?
Dil Se Re, Dil Se Re, Dil Se Re, Dil Se Re, Dil to aakhir dil hai na, meethi si mushkil hai na, piya, piya. पिया 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 पिया
पत्ते पतझड़ के पेड़ों से उतरे थे पेड़ों की शाखों से उतरे थे मौसम गुजरे वो पत्ते वो बेचारे फिर उगनी की चाहत में वो सहराओं से गुजरे वो पत्ते दिल 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 दे वो दिल 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 दिल.
Can you tell me your favorite background score by Mr. Rahman?
Of Rahman's background score? Oh my God, how many films? How many films can say? I mean, films like Rang De Basanti, films like Lagaan, films. I mean, the list is endless, and he loves doing background scores, and he does it as per the essence and as per the texture of the film, which is fabulous.
अरे दीवानो मुझे पहचानो जरा पहचानो मैं हूँ डॉन.
Super hit film Dawn, released in 1978. When it was remade in 2006, Shankar Mahadevan composed its music. British director Danny Boyle used its song Aaj Ki Raat to shoot a dance sequence for Slumdog Millionaire.
They had already shot the song with Aaj Ki Raat, And so I was thinking if it's a song from another movie, it doesn't qualify for anything. And it doesn't seem right because Indian audiences have already heard that song. So a new song would be good. So then the song Jai Ho was done and time stretched to the exact beats per minute.
Jai Ho went on to win Oscar, Grammy. How do you look at that?
Well, I mean, every director uses some dummy piece of music for the tempo. can use anything. I mean, any director can use any piece of music. It could have been anything from the West or any other R.D. Burman song or anything. But eventually, you have to change it because you being the composer, that is Rahman being the composer, all he has to do is maintain the beats per minute. If your beats per minute are 132 for Aaj Ki Raat, use that beats per minute and change the song. It's as simple as that, and rightfully so. And Jai Ho reached, I mean, it really put India on the world map. So, amazing. So, I don't think Aaj Ki Raat had any role to do with that particular situation. Aaj Ki Raat just gave Danny Boyle a tempo for the dancers to dance. That's all. That's the only contribution of Aaj Ki Raat for that film.
Besides singing and composing music, Shankar Mahadevan has been judging music reality shows for more than a decade. On every platform, there were surprises waiting for him.
When you listen to participants on these shows, do you notice Mr. Rahman's influence on them?
I do a show called Super Singer Down South, and it was almost a joke when the number of times I used to mention Rahman's name, and then it started becoming okay for the 2,745th time. I'd like to say that Rahman, you're just unbelievable. The next episode again I'll say the 2,500,000 time. So it is, and the feeling was genuine because his contribution, of course his contribution to Hindi cinema and other forms of music is great, but his contribution to the South industry is just, every time he just surprises me. Every time it is just so deep, so amazing, Just the melody, the grooves, the arrangements, it is just gets me. I used to have a co-judge, Kalpana. I used to check with one kid used to sing a song. I used to check with her. Who is this? Must be Rahman only. Yes, Rahman. It used to be Rahman. Something that grabs their attention, it has to be Rahman. So, unbelievable contribution.
Sir, I have noticed that many young singers and composers, they conduct themselves like Mr. Rahman. Am I right?
See, suppose you go to Kerala, no? 80% of the singers, they behave, talk, walk like Yeshudas. And many of the singers, if you see, especially Telugu and even Tamils, they all talk and sing like Balu sir. It's nothing bad. It is just that how much you love that person. That person, you have become that person and that person has become you because of the intense love and adulation and, the way you adore that person. Similarly, music composers down south, you see many of them, their behavior, their body language, the way they design their studios, the way they handle the keyboard, the way they behave on stage, the way they talk, they all become like Rahman, because not for anything else, because they just love him.
My last question. When Mr. Rahman started his career in 1992, in South, there was Mr. Ilaiyaaraaja. And in Hindi films, there was Mr. Nadeem Shravan, Mr. Anu Malik, and many more. In such a scenario, how difficult, challenging it must have been for him to find his space, his voice, and identity.
See, it is difficult to find your voice at any stage of your life. Even in the beginning it's difficult. After getting extreme recognition, still to maintain that is difficult. See, if you are extremely popular, still if you compose a mediocre song, nobody is going to take it because it's your song. You know what I mean? So, a person like Rahman has always been hardworking. He works through the day, through the night, through the day. And he's an extremely hardworking person who's very quality conscious and musically very well inclined. So, a person like that, it is difficult, but it is possible and he's proved himself. The entire unit, Chitra ji, Kavita ji, Balu sir, I still remember they were all paying for me. I remember Rahman's mother she used to have that, beads kind of thing, and she was chanting and praying so that, my voice becomes okay. Chitraji gave me a kind of a powder which is like it soothes your voice and it opens up. And it was next to impossible, but there was some intervention from above. I went on stage and I just hit Najamanam, and it just worked.
Do you agree that this indeed was the moment of the day? Is your choice different? Whatever your mind says, write it in the comments section below. We will be waiting. Subscribe to our YouTube channel, press the bell icon and stay entertained.